We're back at it. I'm sorry, I'm just putting this in the tripod here. Back at it after not a long time last night. Got that airport order delivered, and so I'm just gonna keep going with the plumbing. We got all this mocked up last night, but none of it's crimped in. So those ones are a little tight. That is the bad thing about using PEX rings like this instead of those stainless ones or the I forget what they call the other kind of PEX, but the expansion PEX. Um, not as not as forgiving in tight places, but okay. This guy up here. None of these are crimped down here either. So I've helped showing up in just over an hour to do pigs. And the plan, the goal, was that this sink would be operational for that. So we've got, this is the water coming up and in, and then it's going to go to an elbow to a T. This water, this line here, is to go up and over to the reverse osmosis system that we're having installed. Because there's pretty high iron content in this water, as well as a couple things, and so when we simmer the broth down, we don't want to have all that buildup of minerals and stuff in the water. Because if we take 40 gallons of high-ish water and turn it into 20 gallons of stock, that all those minerals are still going to be there after the water evaporates out. Crimp. There. Like so. Okay, one more. Goodness. Really? There we go. Bam. Ball valve off. And then what I've already done is just put 3/4 plugs, crimped them on there on either end. So now this whole, everything here is good to go. But what I need to do yet is plumb the back of, plumb the sink, the valves on the sink here. So let me rock over here and grab that. Okay. So we said yesterday, this guy unscrews off of here, and this concentric is offset for adjusting. And then we use this guy right here, which is pipe, but it's threaded the same way all the way back, so that we can put a nut on here and tighten it. You always want to wrap with the threads. 1, 2, 3. Wash it back on here. And it kind of goes together in a hodgepodge. Because those concentrics, you kind of have to line everything up. So they're super nice when you're mounting to a wall. They're a little bit of a pain in the butt when you're mounting to a sink like I have with a flange on it. 3. So. Here. Okay. So 2 parts screwed. Move this side and this side. Same thing here. So, and they kind of level themselves out on their own if you let them. So we're just screwing into the back of the sink here, and then just adjusting this back to center hole, just like that. And then on the back side here, we're just screwing that in, but I've got to grab channel locks, which I set somewhere right here. And I have to gently hold. One more notch. Gently hold this side now while I tighten this side. And we're tightening brass into brass. So you want to be careful. Well, okay then. I'm going to be careful not to over tighten it. I need another set of channel locks. Would be really great to have a pair of adjustable wrenches here, but that's okay. Now, want to get tight, but not too tight. And it's ideal if this is pointed down. Let's get that out of there so you can see. It's ideal if this is pointed down, but if it's kicked off a little bit, it doesn't really matter because we've got all this space back here. See, so this one I went a little past because it just, that's where it hit the sweet spot for me that I liked it. So now I can push this back against here. And then, woohoo, wow, sorry about that. Then just tighten this little nut on the back here on the other side. And that's what secures it and snugs it and holds the whole thing. So I can make the channel locks back here. Just give them a snug. Doesn't need to be unbearably tight. Like not even at all. Now, while I have this apart like this, we're going to grab two supply lines for the faucet, which are here. And I'm actually going to right here. These are the valves that we're going to use. So I'm going to pre-build these things so that I don't have to do all this stuff on my hands and knees. So we'll get this open. And you can say this is a hack way of doing it. I just call it smart. Don't need the compression rings on these. We can get rid of them. Go ahead and start our compression rings, or these guys onto here. Yeah. Quarter stop valve. Always use quarter stop valve, and it just is PEX on the one end. And then it's 1/2 inch pipe on this end, which is what the faucet is. So and doing it by hand, you can just grab that with that turned and tighten it enough. Now it's tight. You don't have to worry about it anymore. And then we'll thread this onto the sink. Then all we got to do is measure our PEX, crimp it, we're good to go. Versus set this thing back there, reach up from behind, screw this in, screw with it, or even just screwing with this on the ground. I mean, we're going to use the PEX here anyway. We don't have a charged water line system. It's not, you know, if you were working in a house or somewhere that had live water, and you were just tying into it, that's probably not going to work as well. But it's not my use case right now. And I should really be using a crescent wrench for this, but horrible camera quality today. But I have channel locks, and channel locks work for 99% of things. Bam, just like that. Now I can move the whole faucet, the whole sink back here and not have to worry about anything. My sprayer is elsewhere, but all that stuff just attaches onto there. So we've got, recap, we've got hot and cold, and they just go out there to nothingness. So what we're gonna do, I'm gonna set you back here. And and put it where I want it. And then all I have to do that sounds awful. So now all I have to do is crawl under there and tie into that 3/4 PEX line. Easy peasy, done. So that's that. I want to, while I'm doing this, because I want a little dopamine hit of finishing something real quick, because that's always good. Just gonna go ahead and finish putting this faucet together. Double O-ring. This slides down and tightens on it. If you just put a little bit of saliva on there, it'll slide right in. You don't have to use grease or anything. Boop. And Boom, just like that. Same thing. If it won't go in, just spit on it. Oh, easy, easy. Boom. Okay, so now I'm going to her. And we need three-quarter, half tees. And rings. And just like last night, I don't know if you can see, but we got the laser level back on, which is shooting the top of where we want the hot line to be. Now we got crimper. We got 2 half-inch tees. Actually, we need 4 half-inch tees for half-inch crimps. We've got PEX cutters. And some half-inch PEX. Okay. So, we've got, this is hot, closer is cold. So, move this up to about there. Cut this out. Move that up to about there. Ooh. See, that's going to be a little bit of a pain because that leg's in the way. So that's where we want to be. So what I'm going to do is shift this whole sink over. And you can't do that if it's all mounted right now. So that's why we're playing loosey-goosey, fast and wild. Because now okay, here's what I'm going to do. Everything moves, right? So we're going to figure out our height here. I'm going to trim that little bit off of the half-inch PEX that we always want to trim. And then we're going to go, that's about level. That's what I want right there. Is that good? That's pretty all right. Okay. Now, that's about level. PEX is cheap. Cut it here. Go here. Find level. Bring this guy over. I need to take about another 1/2 inch off of that. Now, the beautiful thing about working as the ADHD guy. Hey, Chuck! Okay, so the beautiful thing about doing that is now I can just come back here with that out of the way and hook this stuff up. How's Chuck doing this morning? Put the shorter one back on the longer one, so we're getting it right. I'm just on here showing the YouTubes how to not plumb, because I'm doing it my way. My way works. Just like my stitches may be ugly, but they hold. Or sutures. Chuck doesn't make ugly stitches. Chuck makes pretty stitches. Boom. Okay. This is a single bay sink. So this is my prep sink. So food washing, any miscellaneous stuff like that. The 3-bay sink is going to go over here, and it's right there upside down. I'm not going to use it today. We got about 40 minutes until pig butchering starts. So yeah, it's going to be awesome. So now I can put the sink back. So much easier than laying underneath that thing trying to figure all this stuff out. Sorry about the sound. So the legs are fully adjustable on this sink. So as soon as we get it fully set, we're exactly where we want it. There's Allen keys in here. We can go up and down. Sorry, you doing the pigs. My ex-father-in-law is actually coming to help me. He helped me with the slaughtering, and we actually have a really good relationship, which is pretty awesome. So he's him and actually my ex-mother-in-law as well, I do believe, are going to be here. So make quick work. He's a big time hunter. His dad was was actually a butcher, so he's pretty handy with it. The acrobatics of plumbing. Bam. Okay, I gotta get one more ring. This one's bent. Boom. Okay, so that's everything tied in. These guys, whoops, horrible camera work, I know. So that's everything tied in here. So live and living color. Ooh, we're gonna turn this water on and see what happens. She's filling up. Hey. Okay, so we're filling up with water, which is fantastic. I'm super excited about this. Hey, okay. So, I need a bucket. I need a bucket. Of course, I don't have a bucket down here. Yeah, so we're on a a fairly heavy calcium well here. So, iron well. So it's it's nice because we're on a well, which means we're not getting any city water crap, but we got a ton of iron, so that's why we're doing the reverse osmosis system. Okay. Oh, hey, I gotta turn the valve on underneath. No water softener. I don't like water softeners, especially for the broth, because we turn 40 gallons of water into 10 gallons of broth. So, I already have a little bit of a leak here on the faucet, but that's okay. Just want to get all the, whoops. I opened that to bleed some water or some air, and it was kicking water out. So, I don't have this water turned on very much. My ADD is really like out there. Oh goodness. Okay, I'm gonna put this thing back on the stand. Everything's looking good for leaks so far. Let's see how much iron's in that water as it comes out. That's why we're putting in the RO system. Cause yeah, so. This down here. We got water flowing in the sink. Okay, I'm gonna turn the hot water on below. Now, some dummy, that's gonna hiss for a little bit. Some dummy cross-threaded the tar out of this, so it's already leaking a little bit. So I'm gonna have to cut that out. But that's okay, because it's right above the floor drain, so it doesn't actually really matter. This big accomplishment for down here. Huge accomplishment. So the water heater has to fill up its 50 gallons. So this is just gonna sit here and hiss for a bit, but as soon as I get all the water pulled out of it, I can fire the water heater, and then it's literally put in the drain over to the floor. Super easy. Drop it out there, over, done. Boom, good to go. So that's what we got going on, folks. And it's electric, the water heater, so that I don't have to run natural gas and then a flue and everything, because temporary 3 years. And I was gonna, ADHD side note since we're here, I was gonna do a Razoo new water heater that had the heat exchanger in it that pulls the heat out of the air, cuts the cost down, especially since the freeze dryers create so much heat. But that was $1,600, and that was $450. And I don't think I'm gonna save $350 a year on the power. Maybe I would have, maybe I won't. But I just didn't amortize out like that, you know. If we were gonna be here for the next 10 years, totally would have done that. They work awesome. I actually know of a couple people here in Montana locally that have those, and they were not in as heated of a space or as open of a space as they recommend. And it actually pulled so much heat it froze the pipes. So we had to cut in vents so that they could get airflow and everything. So they work super great, but short term, I'm not gonna worry about it, because when we move from here into the next place, we're gonna have on demand. Had a phone call. Thanks for being here, Chuck. I appreciate it. So yeah, that's the reason for that. So we're gonna go over here. I'll take you with me. Horrible production. And turn this like this. And hey, dude, you got to take all that money. All that money. And we've got black, and we've got red. This is 10 gauge, up to 40 amps. We're gonna do 30 amps with it. And set this right here. And this is our homemade wire puller that we have going on. So it's just all thread strapped to a ladder, and it works pretty darn good. Does this fit? Of course the conduit that I have doesn't fit. Yeah. Sorry, that was loud. Things just hissing away. Let's see. Now I gotta find something. Oh, here we go. Here we go. You gotta be a scab if you're gonna be self-employed, especially in the beginning. The building that we bought the walk-ins from, and the buildings we bought the walk-ins and the exhaust hood over here, everything is held in commercial with this all thread and Unistrut. And because they weren't going to be using any of it, because they transitioned from a restaurant into a physical therapy type place, we took all of it. Like I unbolted every single thing. I talked to the guy ahead of time, and I'm like, listen, you don't need this. I'll just get it out of here for you and make it easier for you. So I literally got 100 feet of this stuff in various lengths, and I've only had to buy 4 sticks because the hood is such a far drop from the bottom. Hey, we got water. Water heater's full. This is great. I'm super excited. Okay, so I have a leak on here too. To be expected when you don't use a wrench to tighten something. Simple, simple, simple. Simple, simple. And we're good. Awesome. Okay, back to the wire. Dude. So I actually recorded a short yesterday that I didn't post because I was thoroughly disgusted with how things are going and how slow they are. And like, man, am I really doing the right thing by doing all this and like all the crap? Yeah, I am. And I'm learning a lot of stuff on YouTube. My the electrician that is helping me with stuff, he's a commercial electrician by trade. He's helping me with a ton. I'm doing all the plumbing. I work for a plumber. I have this deal, and I've talked about this before, and next week when I get my office rearranged, I'm going to start podcasting again. And the first podcast when I come back is going to be about all of the different jobs that I've held in order to learn things, because if you can learn how to do something and get paid to do it, well, then that's all the better, right? Like, I just learned on this job, I have always done, if you run a ground with your connectors, I've always run the same size ground as the conductors. So this is 10 gauge. So I would run a 10 gauge ground. Apparently you don't have to do that. You can run a smaller ground than your connectors apparently. At least that's the way everything's been working out here. So I'm just assuming that we're good to go, and that's what I was told. So I've got 10 gauge wire here, and so I got 2 hots, and then I've got this is 12 gauges, isn't it? I've got a 12 gauge ground here, and we're gonna put conduit on the wall. I'm gonna twist this again so you can see. See all that beautiful conduit coming up? That wasn't me, that was the commercial electrician who plays with conduit for a living. So we're going to put this in conduit, but for today we don't have that time. So I'm just gonna turn this so we can see. I'm just gonna go for a little bit of a walkabout, and we're gonna go around this guy and over. Okay, and then stretch this out a little bit more. So this will give me the panel. And then Redneck Math says, Redneck math says that this conduit's going to go up about 3 feet. Ceiling height is here. We're going to go just above ceiling. So we're going to go up 3 feet here, across to a box, and down. So if I start here with the wire, and I know this is horrible, and come across the building here, that's 15 feet. That's enough wire, I think. I forgot you. So, I'm going to go to the panel here. And this is a hot panel. There is 200 amps of 3-phase in here. So, I'm not going to touch anything. But I am going through this bushing in the top. And then I'm going to do this not on the live because I don't want to get sparked. But so I got the wire rednecked all the way across here, and my leak is worse than I thought. It's very unhappy. I'm gonna have to replace this guy. So she's spraying all over the place. I actually turned the water pressure off because of how much it was leaking. Now, it's going right into a floor drain. It's not the end of the world. But I'm gonna go ahead and get this water heater wired up because it's gonna take a long time to heat up. And then all I have left to do is that drain from there, kick it over to there. So 45 minutes. I got 20 minutes before they get here. So I'm gonna go ahead and end the live for now. I don't know what I'm gonna work on tonight. Probably more plumbing, but anyway. Chuck, thanks for being here. Sarah, love you. And we'll see you later. Oh, special operations equipment. Good people, lightweight hoodie, love them. Yeah, check them out. Peace.